One Zambia, one nation. This is the main news on ZANIS TV. To present, my name is Henry Himonde, alongside my sign language interpreter, John Chulu. Let's take a look at the headlines. Government commissions district administration blocks. Zambia successfully implements winter maize project in Pongwe. Zambia and China partner to boost tourism. Also, Minister says traditional ceremonies should promote peace and unity. And now the news in detail. Government has commissioned 2 district administration blocks worth 13 million kwacha in Lufwanyama and Pongwe districts. Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development Charles Milupi commissioned both infrastructures at separate events. Our 2 staffers, Agrippa Silumbwe in Lufwanyama and Noah Kangali in Pongwe, brought us this report.
This is a newly constructed Lufwanyama District Administration Block, which has a total of 32 office spaces. This will now enable all government departments under the central government to operate under one roof, as Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development has officially opened the building.
This project is just the beginning of our journey towards decentralization and bringing essential services closer to the people with DC and the administration. There is an urgent need for a comprehensive maintenance plan to safeguard this valuable asset for generations to come.
The coming of this office building will enhance efficiency in delivering government services.
A happy member of parliament today because we are handing this district administration to us, and it has happened during my tenure of office as a member of parliament, and it will remain in the history.
May I also mention that we have got movement challenges in Lufwanyama. The road to Chingola is one of the projects which were cancelled. So the road to Chief Fungulo.
Meanwhile, the minister later proceeded to Mpongwe district to commission yet another similar project. My colleague Noah Kangali in Mpongwe district picked it up there.
Thank you so much, Agrippa. The minister has arrived safely here in Mpongwe, where he has equally managed to commission the new government office block.
These improved facilities, the district administration will be empowered to effectively implement government's programs, further enriching the lives of our people.
Here, the building equally has a total of 32 offices for government workers. And the Pongwe Central Member of Parliament thanked the New Dawn administration for expediting the completion of the building.
Allow me to convey my gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for funding this project. As it not for UPND government, this infrastructure wouldn't have been done.
The new buildings in Lufwanyama and in Pongwe will improve service delivery in both districts. ZANIS reports on the Copperbelt province.
Now, President Hakainde Hichilema says traditional leaders remain partners of government in national development. Mr. Hichilema adds that the government appreciates the support and efforts rendered by traditional leaders in both social and economic growth of the country. He said this in Monze yesterday when he met over 30 traditional leaders from across the country before gracing the Lwindi Gonde traditional ceremony. Kalunga Msonda reports that the head of state has also assured traditional leaders that government will ensure that all palaces around the country are built in time and no traditional leader will be left out.
A colorful traditional ceremony embraced by different traditional groups, showcasing their culture and support to the Tonga people of Monze in Southern Province. The Lwindi Gonde traditional ceremony was celebrated in style with over 30 traditional leaders in attendance from across the country. And President Hakainde Hichilema is pleased with the unity among traditional leaders.
We're truly grateful for this gesture of supporting each other. Today you are here in Gonde. Earlier you were there at Nkwala and Chipata. You will be at Gavaundi's place. You will be in Mutomboka and Wapula. You will be in Western Province. Some of you were there. Mboka. You will be in Kusevya Pangwena in Northern Province. And later this week you will be Wamkuni. So this gesture is pleasing to your servant president, which means first you respect traditional heritage, all of us, our heritage, diversified as it is, we respect it. We appreciate that you are united, and we ask you to continue being united, and consequentially, unite we your subjects.
And Chief Monze appealed to the Zambian people to embrace each other without tribal segregation.
I want to emphasize on one Zambia, one nation, because this word is very important. It will help us to unite with our Royal Highnesses, these who are present and those who are not here. Because me, from the chiefdom, I ascended to this throne during the Kaunda Day. What I've witnessed, this has helped us to live together in harmony and work hard. Because what we need is to work hard and work together.
The Southern Province administration appreciates the traditional leadership in the province.
On behalf of government here in Southern Province, may I take this opportunity to acknowledge the wisdom and guidance of our ancestors whose legacy we honor today here in Monze. That we celebrate our diversity, our unity, and our shared humanity as we embrace our traditions and customs, which makes us who we are today.
Traditional ceremonies provide an opportunity to appreciate and showcase the diverse culture of the country. Kalunga Msonda, ZANIS News, Monze District, Southern Province.
And government has reaffirmed its commitment to working with traditional leaders in a bid to develop the country. Speaking in Katete after an engagement with the Kalonga Gawaundi Local Government and Rural Development Minister, Gary Nkombo hinted that the engagement encompassed matters that border on the development of the chiefdom. Mr. Nkombo said another meeting will soon be arranged where issues including the establishment of 5 districts in 2018 will be discussed. He highlighted that the districts that were established in 2018 did not involve the traditional leadership, a reason he held the engagement. Meanwhile, Kalonga Gawaundi's Induna Lucas Phiri dispelled media reports alleging that the traditional leadership had turned away the minister. Mr. Phiri indicated that the traditional leadership was in cordial relations with government and its officials.
We were able to discuss several things that affect the chiefdom and the developments in this chiefdom. And we've agreed that we are going to now have another meeting, not so distant a future, at which the detail of what the concerns of the chiefdom, the concerns of the chief, the chair people, about how things were before and how things ought to be going into the future. And this includes, and not limited to, one matter from the year 2018, when 5 districts were established. It is clear that the royal establishment appears not to have been consulted, and this is basically the thrust of what the iota of the engagement with the royal establishment is.
I want to dispel what the media put at that time to say, no, Gawaundi had chased the minister, or Gawaundi had refused to see government officials. It was not an issue. An issue was Gawa has a lot of programs when he is here. So it was a tighter program that when it was scheduled for the minister to have met His Majesty, it couldn't materialize. Then he saw it fit that no, let's meet the other day when we sit down to see which would be more appropriate.
ZAMBIF PLC has successfully executed its 130 hectares winter maize project in Pongwe district. This is in response to government's call for commercial farmers to venture into winter maize production. Zambif PLC Corporate Affairs and Sustainability Executive Ezekiel Sekele says the company has supplied more than 17,000 tons of its maize to the Food Reserve Agency out of the 20,000 tons supply contract it has with the agency. Noah Kangali has the rest of the story.
This is part of the 130 hectares of winter maize being grown by Zambif PLC at its Mpongwe Nampamba farm. The company is currently conducting trials of the project in a bid to complement government's call for farmers to grow maize off the rainy season. Brave Simpuki is Zambif arable crop manager.
We're standing in a field of winter maize. This particular field is 55 hectares. It's part of the total trial of 130 hectares of winter maize, which Zambif has for the first time decided to try. And this is in response to the government's call to help out mitigate on the maize shortages that the country is experiencing. As it looks that we'll probably get a minimum of 7 tons, which altogether is 910 tons of maize. It's enough maize to feed 13,000 families for a month.
And Zambif PLC Corporate Affairs and Sustainability Executive Ezekiel Sekele says the company will continue to contribute to national food security.
And based on our observations, inspection, and also feedback from our technical team, the winter maize here at Mpongwe, so far, we can say it's a success. At Mpongwe, we've done 130 hectares of land. We set aside 130 hectares of land for winter maize. At Chiawa farm, we set aside 800 hectares of land for winter maize.
Mr. Sekele disclosed that the company had so far supplied more than 17,000 tons of maize to the Food Reserve Agency FRA out of the targeted 20,000 contractual obligation.
We have delivered over 17,000 tons, and we expect to complete the delivery to FRA by early July. So we are very much on course as of now.
Noah Kangali for ZANIS in Mpongwe.
In other news, Tourism Minister Rodney Suuma says China provides a huge tourism market for Zambia because of its vast population size. Mr. Suuma says it is for this reason that the ministry has chosen to partner with the Chinese government for strategic collaboration that will boost the tourism industry. The minister was speaking shortly after a tour of the Lusaka National Park with visiting Chinese Minister of Veteran Affairs, Pei Jinjia. Details in the following report.
Zambia and China have enjoyed bilateral relations for over 60 years. In the tourism sector, the two countries have agreed to collaborate to boost the sector and have declared the year 2024 as a year of culture and tourism between the two countries. Tourism Minister Rodney Suuma explains that it is for this reason that the Chinese Minister of Veterans Affairs has been in the country for the last 4 days, and that Zambia could benefit from the vast population of China to boost the tourism industry.
China is in excess of 1.3 billion people. Now you can only imagine if you only get but a percentage of that amount of number. So you're talking about close to 1.13 million Chinese tourists coming in, which is quite a lot. So for us to be ready for that particular market, number one, we need to ensure that it becomes easy for them to fly into Zambia. The second thing is we need to be ready. Human capital, something that we've been talking about. The more we invite people coming into the country, the more demand will be raised with regards to issues of service. And that's why I've been trying to push the agenda to say hospitality shouldn't be a by the way. Hospitality should be the business.
Mr. Suuma has also shared some of the agreed strategic areas of collaboration to enhance the tourism sector.
China is one of our strategic partners based in development as well as tourism. And what we've seen so far, over and above what we're undertaking as a country, is first of all to remove visa restrictions for our Chinese nationals, be it tourist visas as well as those ones which we regard as business visas. The second option, obviously, is that of ensuring that they help us look at infrastructure development within the parks, as well as what you saw yesterday, where we showed them a few areas within our museums together with what they're doing. But I think what is very critical for us is to really celebrate the 2024 year of culture and tourism between our two nations, the People's Republic of China and that of Zambia. This was coined at the invitation of President Xi Jinping, of his essence the president, when he went to China on the 15th of September in 2023, where it was agreed that this year was going to be the year of culture and tourism. And at that, we are also looking at how we're going to cement a relationship in tourism. So alongside waiving visa restrictions, we're talking about the aspects of having to have a direct flight out of China. Could be Beijing, could be Shenzhen, or could be...
And Chinese Minister of Veterans Affairs, who has had the chance to view some of Zambia's tourist and cultural destinations, including the National Museum, the Embassy Park and the Lusaka National Park, has called for continued unity and collaboration between China and Zambia.
坦赞铁路精神，弘扬中战的传统， and we should carry on the Tanzania spirit and also continue our good friendship. 看到你们在开，President Xi Jinping emphasized we should build the same mainland with the same destiny.
Sarah Miti reporting for ZANIS in Lusaka.
We now take our first break and we'll be back with more stories. Keep watching.
Woman Thou Art is a program that offers counsel to the female folk, sharing real-life experiences and providing guidance to the women and young girls on necessary steps and conducts that will help shape and nurture a sober society. Watch Woman Thou Art on ZANIS TV every Wednesday at 18:30 hours on the TOPSATR channel, channel 6 DTT and channel 458 DTH.
The news continues. Government has started the construction of the 25 million kwacha boarding secondary school in Nangoma constituency of Mumbwa district. Nangoma Member of Parliament Collins Nzovu says the construction of Kezwa weekly boarding secondary school, with support from the World Bank through the Zambia Education Enhancement Project additional financing, will enhance development in the area of secondary education. Krugas Yankulu reports that the weekly boarding secondary school is among the 120 secondary schools being constructed countrywide.
Kezwa residents are seated on a 25-hectare land designated for the construction of the first weekly boarding secondary school in Nangoma constituency. Member of Parliament Collins Nzovu presided over the groundbreaking ceremony in Kezwa, which is under Senior Chief Shakumbila's chiefdom.
All the wards in Nangoma, this is the secondary school. This is the only secondary school we are going to have in Nangoma. We want a full boarding school in Nangoma.
Martin Liwali is the coordinator of the Zambia Education Program Coordination Unit and outlines the planned structures.
We have 1x3 classroom block, 1x2 classroom block, 2 ablution blocks, one for girls and the other for boys, an administration block, 1x3 science laboratory block, 1x2 home economics and design technology block, 1x2 computer room and library block, a school hall, 12 standalone teachers' houses, a sick bay or health room.
Provincial Provincial Education Officer, Mambe Mianda, has expressed excitement about the upcoming Kezwa Weekly Boarding Secondary School.
This new boarding school coming will feed the surrounding schools nearby which cannot access secondary school. And even those which are in far-flung areas, they will be supported by the boarding aspect.
ZANIS,
And in Northwestern Province, Provincial Minister Robert Lembo has urged people in the province to use traditional ceremonies as avenues to promote peace and unity in diversity. Mr. Lembo says traditional ceremonies must not only be held to promote different cultural values, but also a symbol of peace and unity. He said this in a speech read on his behalf by Acting Deputy Permanent Secretary Tretson Mulofwa during this year's Ntongo traditional ceremony of Chief Chizela of the Kaonde people of Mufumbwe district. Emma Zulu now gives us details in this report.
The Kaonde-speaking people of Chief Chizela in Mufumbwe district of Northwestern Province gathered to showcase their culture during the Ntongo traditional ceremony. Government wants to see people use such events as avenues to promote peace and unity in diversity.
Traditional ceremonies should be used as avenues to promote unity in diversity in the country. As Zambians, we should be proud of our culture and take time in learning different cultures in order to be able to understand each other and consequently live in harmony.
During the event, the Nsakwa Yabakaonde Cultural Association has urged the people of Chizela to continue preserving their culture and tradition by passing it on to the younger generation.
Munaikubambaketi mwaru bako kufundisha abana benu ne barongo benu muraka wenu ne mambo mafundisho yetu rumburira mba mwana wa mucheche utina maana akukwatanganya miraka 16 pakimyeki mo ne kuyamba yonse kwa kubura kukata juwane.
District Commissioner Elijah Munyombe has this concern on the drought that has affected the livestock in the area.
We took a trip to the southern part of Mufumbwe. We found some shallow wells, streams, dambos, and some rivers. The water dried out. My humble appeal to the new Tory government, through you guest of honor, I want an immediate intervention by having bores which will help our farmers to have water for the animals.
Chief Chizela spoke through his representative.
We are so delighted as the chiefdom to this hard-working government through His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for trying to put it to rest the problems and the issues that Karengwa mine has gone through.
Emma Zulu, reporting for ZANIS News in Mufumbwe District, Northwestern Province.
We continue with the news. Northern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Beauty Phiri has called for serious scrutiny of the selection of beneficiaries of the Constituency Development Fund CDF empowerment loans. Ms. Phiri said the CDF empowerment loans are meant for the less privileged who cannot manage to give collateral to access loans from the banks. The Deputy Permanent Secretary said this when she officiated at the handover of 6.5 million kwacha as 2024 CDF empowerment loans for the Kasama and Lukasha constituencies in Kasama district. Taonga Nkoma covered the event and gives us more in this report.
It's all smiles as the long wait is finally over for these people of Lukasha and Kasama Central constituencies in Kasama district. This is because these 50 groups have successfully been awarded empowerment loans under the 2024 Constituency Development Fund CDF allocation.
Previously, it was so difficult. In fact, CDF, we just heard that it was for bridges in the rural areas, what. But today, even us who are not able to access loans at CEC, we are able to access them through CDF.
Northern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Beauty Undi Phiri, who officiated at the handover of the funds to beneficiaries, called for serious examination in the selection process.
Today, if we give you the interest that you are paying back with CDF, is not the same as you are paying back with the bank. And these loans are meant to be paid to poor people who cannot manage to go to the bank and give collateral. And if we are giving to poor people, then we should select poor people. Let's not select Variable Moneka Boguilovaria. We cannot be giving money where there's already money. We cannot continue empowering people who are already empowered. We leave people who are poor and we are empowering people who are already empowered. This should come to an end.
Kasama Mayor and Lukasha Constituency Member of Parliament were also present at the event.
The 2024 Constituency Development Fund, CDF, loans have been a beacon of hope and progress.
This idea of Kasama District Council to learn that you have established a database to track these loans, to make sure that the monies that have been allocated to the beneficiaries are going to be properly utilized.
For ZANIS in Kasama, I'm Taonga Nkoma.
The Zambia Institute of Human Resource Management President Kelvin Shimuzinga says human resource practitioners are change agents and catalysts for both corporate and government institutions in fostering development. Mr. Shimuzinga said the institute has prioritized capacity building training to offer human resource practitioners in the country to realize their key role in achieving organizational goals and expectations. He notes that managers of human resource must acquire core human resource knowledge that is responding to changing trends in organizations, targeting action plans, rewarding performance, and improving low performance, among others. Brandina Lambwe reports that Mr. Shimuzinga said this at a training workshop for human resource practitioners held over the weekend in Siavonga district under the theme, Building People in 10 People Building Businesses. Meanwhile, Zambia Institute of Human Resource Management Chief Executive Officer Owen Jilala indicated that important topics have been selected in the Employment Code number 3 of 2019 to empower human resource managers on how to deal with mental health issues and other issues vital for service delivery. And Siavonga District Commissioner Geoffrey Jacopo, in an interview, employed employers and employees to work in harmony in order to enhance good working relationship and environment that will contribute to national development. And in health news, the community of Kaka village in Mbala district has commended government for embarking on the construction of a maternity annex at Kaka Rural Health Center at a cost of over 890,000 kwacha using the 2023 Constituency Development Fund. The residents praised government when a team from Mbala Municipal Council and the Northern Province Joint Monitoring Team on CDF visited the area to check on progress of the works. Geoffrey Phiri was in Mbala and gave us this report.
This is a maternity annex under construction at Kakaluro Health Center in Mbala district. The facility, which is being built using the Constituency Development Fund CDF, has elated the local community who reviews the challenges people face in accessing such services.
kula batirimbi bana mwa ifide chitiko kuwa baba lipana nikanipa screening bale umfa then chiri bwino kozi sometimes kula bati mwaisa apa kuikarata pali but ichinga chapwa chikala chitakuwa accommodate bana mayo bale fuma kutali.
Mbala District Work Supervisor Davis Mulenga, who led the Provincial Monitoring Team on CDF projects to the site, gives details about the project.
It is happening here is there is a construction of maternity annex supported by CDF. The cost of the project is 890,000. So far the works are at ring beam level. Of course the contractor works, you can't see the works, the contractor is waiting for funds to be paid. Yeah, there are delivery rooms, postnatal rooms, and any other like the sluice toilets.
And not far from Kakaluro Health Center, the Mbala Municipal Council is also constructing a staff house at Chisenga Rural Health Center using CDF. A community member expressed gratitude to government for the project.
CDF kubuteko nokutwafuyirishanga pano pachisenga mulwandi wandi kwena tuletotere chine chine apona lelo ing'anda ile ya mkupa so apa pakutotera kweva CDF.
Phiri reporting for ZANIS in Mbala district.
We now take another break and more stories on the other side. Keep watching.
How I Made It is a program that delves into the many success stories of different people from all walks of life. Watch How I Made It on ZANIS TV every Thursday at 18:30 hours on the TOPSATR channel, channel 6 DTT, and channel 458 DTH.
And now for the rest of the news, the International Monetary Fund, IMF resident representative for Zambia, Eric Lostia, says IMF research studies have shown that subsidies such as those on fuel benefit rich people more than the less fortunate. Mr. Lostia adds that subsidies are also not good for the climate, especially in the current period where Zambia is struggling with drought. In a statement issued to ZANIS in Lusaka today by the Economics Association of Zambia Acting Chief Executive Officer Tendai Posiana, Mr. Lautia noted that the cost of subsidies is high, thereby impacting budget sustainability, adding that spending a large share of the budget on fuel subsidies means that a country cannot afford the needed investment to grow the economy and create jobs. The IMF resident representative highlighted that without the debt restructuring, it would have been difficult for government to double social spending as a share of gross domestic product, hire more teachers and health workers, and provide lunch at schools. He has since urged the government to ensure that the support is well calibrated to cushion the impact on people with the lowest real disposable income. About 95 students sponsored under the 2022-2023 Constituency Development Fund in Wangwa District have graduated from a skills training program. The 95 out of the 149 students trained under the Messiah Ministries Zalo Skills Training Center.
Zalo Skills Training Center has held its first ever graduation ceremony with 149 students graduating with certificates in various vocational courses. Luangwa District Commissioner Luke Chikan graced the occasion. Mr. Chikan reaffirmed the government's commitment towards ensuring that youth are impacted with skills.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Higa, attaches great importance to occasions such as this one, which aim at empowering youths with relevant and appropriate skills aimed at creating employment and entrepreneurial opportunities. The skills acquired from this institution will enable young people to rebuild their confidence and participate in different platforms of national development.
The TVETA-affiliated institution offers skills training courses.
In the year 2022, we had introduction of the CDF, a total number of 129 youths from CDF were enrolled at our institution. Some of our students have formed cooperatives and have access to grants from CDF.
I urge you to embrace the opportunities that come your way. Continue to learn, innovate, and strive for excellence in all that you do.
Lista Ndumba reporting for ZANIS in Luangwa district.
And now to Western Province, where the Department of National Parks and Wildlife has restored hope in the people of Mambolomoka Ward in Changombo district by gunning down an elephant that killed a 71-year-old blind woman recently. Principal Wildlife Police Officer under Sioma District, Joseph Nyambe, says his office received a call of the demise of the old woman and the escalating conflict between humans and animals in the world. Our staffer Wesley Ngandu reports that Mr. Nyambe, who was speaking in an interview in Changombo, said people had left their homes and camped in schools for fear of being attacked by animals. Mr. Nyambe adds that while in the ward, the team received a call from Mulengwa village that the notorious elephant had returned and was causing chaos. Mr. Nyambe explained that the officers went to the scene and fired some warning shot, but the animal became more aggressive and started attacking them, which prompted officers to gun it down. District Commissioner Movita Siamana thanked the team from the Department of National Parks and Wildlife for the quick response towards the situation. And now in agriculture news, the Minister of Agriculture in Chongwe District in Lusaka Province has handed over 11 motorbikes to support agriculture extension officers in the area. The motorbikes, which have been purchased through the Zambia Emergency Food Production Facility, were distributed to the officers during a handover ceremony officiated by District Commissioner Evans Lupia. Here are the details.
Ministry of Agriculture has handed over 11 motorbikes to agriculture extension officers in Chongwe District who are serving in 11 agriculture camps in the area. The motorbikes, which have been purchased under the Zambia Emergency Food Production Facility, which is funded by the African Development Bank, will enable the officers to undertake their duties within their respective camps with ease. Chongwe District Commissioner Dr. Evans Lupia, who handed over the motorbikes to the officers, stated that government remains committed towards making efforts to enhance agriculture services offered to farmers in the country.
After the mines, agriculture is one sector which is being looked at as a very important sector to try and turn things around from an economic point of view. So you play a very, very important role.
Dr. Lupia also implored the officers to take care of the motorbikes.
It's important that we use these motorbikes for intended purposes. Because if you don't use these motorbikes for intended purposes, in one way or the other, it will show. Take care of these assets. Make sure that you use them in such a way that you are caring. You see, anything that you use carelessly will not last you. I mean, it will not last. Anything.
Acting District Agriculture Coordinating Officer Chintu stated that the motorbikes will address the challenge of long distances covered by camp extension officers to reach farmers in the area.
We are fortunate enough to receive 11 motorbikes from the government with support from the African Development Fund. These are going to our extension officers. And our extension officers, they are working in remote and rural areas where it's access to the farmers is a challenge. So motorbikes are very handy because they are able to move and navigate in those areas. So this is how we benefit from this. We expect to have improved extension services, our farmers to benefit from improved extension services.
Sheila Makosa, reporting for ZANIS in Chongwe District.
And finally, the Embassy of the Republic of Zambia in Brazil is engaged in talks with Cyril Liban's Hospital, one of the best-rated hospitals in South America, for possible partnerships. A team of mission staff led by Zambia's ambassador to Brazil, Glenn Michelo, conducted a tour of the hospital to appreciate the specialized and advanced medical services the hospital offers with a view of partnerships in patient referrals and other services. Syrio Liban's Hospital International Relations and Corporate Manager Felipe Kanemo indicated that the hospital has an agenda of creating new international partnership and is looking forward to a productive collaboration with the Zambian government. And Ambassador Michelo indicated that the government of Zambia is continuously exploring ways that can improve healthcare services for its citizens. The ambassador also said, as a country, Zambia wants to expose its medical personnel to the best medical practices and technology and professional exchange and internship programs that include education, research, and training of medical professionals. This is contained in a statement made available to ZANIS in Lusaka by First Secretary for Press and Public Relations at the Zambian Embassy in Brazil, Lloyd Kapusa. On that note, we come to the end of our news, but before we go away, let's take another look at the top stories. Government has commissioned district administration blocks in Mponga and Bufanyama districts. Zambia has successfully implemented the winter maize project in Pongwe. Zambia and China have partnered to boost tourism. And Minister says traditional ceremonies should promote peace and unity. Thank you so much for watching the news on behalf of the entire news production crew, as well as my sign language presenter, John Chulu. My name is Henry Himonde. Until next time, it's goodbye.